Yo, what's good, YouTube? Sam Crow here, aka Scoop, back with the International Draft Masters Season 3, week number 4, and we're taking on the San Diego Snorlax, coached by It's Snorlaxus, aka Corey, one of our good buddies, plays along with us in the iDM, the PBF, played along with us in the NSL many years ago, and so on and so forth. Really solid battler, and has a pretty scary squad. As you can see, his first two picks being Mega Lop and Mew, followed by his Fairy Dragon Steel Core, followed by a Fire Water Grass Core, followed by Z Circuitry, and then low tier mons like Rhydon and Ditto, a reliable stealth rocker, and then whatever the hell you want out of Ditto. We have on our hands Landorus Therian, Zeraora, Como-O, Necrozma, Scizor, Primarina, Incineroar, Decidueye, Glaceon, Mega Diancie, Tauros, and Garbodor. And we've decided to bring Zeraora, Necrozma, Scizor, Primarina, Incineroar, and Mega Diancie as our 6 Pokemon this week. Okay, let's talk about his Z-move users real quick. I think his Z-move users are Xurkitree and Breloom. Don't quote me. I'm pretty sure that's his Z-move users though. And our Z-move users are Landorus Therian, Incineroar, and Glaceon. So, yeah, that being said, Mega Lop's a huge threat. One of the best Mega Lop counters is Mew, which is on his squad. So, we have a similar Pokemon though. We have Necrozma. Let's just go ahead and jump into the team builder. Our first Pokemon this week is Zeraora. Like I mentioned, we have the Life Orb, Plasma Fist, Close Combat, Fire Punch, and Grass Knot. So yeah, just Life Orb, 4 attacks, really solid in this matchup. Plasma Fist hits the Mega Lop, hits the Mew, hits the Sylveon, hits the Registeel, hits the Milotic, hits the Blacephalon, hits the Xurkitree decently. It doesn't have like extreme bulk or anything like that. Close Combat hits Mega Lop pretty hard too. Kyurem and Registeel pretty hard. Also hits the Rhydon upon switch in. If there's like 50-50s where I can't just go for Plasma Fist or something like that. And then Fire Punch is really nice for the Registeel as well as the Breloom. And then got the Grass Knot there for the Rhydon, which is the biggest roadblock for Thunderfuck here. Yeah, but we have enough speed investment so that we can set 1 speed point above Mega Lopunny. Actually 2, but we can't set 1 above, so we have to set 2 above. And then max attack with the rest in HP, just for longevity from Life Orb, Recoil. Plasma Fist, Close Combat, Fire Punch, and Grass Knot should do the job and are just strong enough at max attack here, even with a Jolly Nature, thanks to the Life Orb. So yeah, that's going to be it for Zeraora, and we can move on to Necrozma. So I didn't want to play around with crits and rolls and stuff like that, so I decided that my Mega Lopunny answer would be a max HP, max defense Necrozma here, and we're rocking Stealth Rock, Morning Sun for longevity, and obviously just for residual damage from Stealth Rocks, and then Photon Geyser and Knockoff will do the job versus my opponent, as Photon Geyser hits basically everything on his team outside of Sylveon, Registeel, and then a potential Ditto, but then Knockoff hits Mew and the Ditto, and obviously the rest of my team will have to do work for the Registeel if it even comes. So we got the Prison Armor there. We can avoid, super effective damage from things like Shadow Ball from Blacephalon, which is actually still problematic, especially with how much little SPDF investment I have. I don't want to necessarily take a Shadow Ball, especially if Mega Lop is still around. But yeah, that's going to be it for Necrozma. Its main purpose is to come in, take hits from Mega Lopunny, Morning Sun up, Stealth Rock up, get rid of items, and checking Mega Lopunny basically. That's what it's there for. Stealth Rocks are not too important. Like, they're really nice for Blacephalon and making sure that I break, potential sashes on Breloom and maybe Xurkitree, so on and so forth, but that's just about it. And we can move on to Scizor. We're running a bulky SPDF set with max HP, max SPDF, a little bit of attack investment, leftovers item, and then technician ability, obviously for U-turn and bullet punch, and then just a Roost Defog set. Pretty much the same set we brought last week, except it's used for a different purpose. Last week it was for toxic spike removal. This week it's also for hazard removal, but not toxic spikes, and it's there to switch in on the Sylveon switch on the Kieran, and avoid like super effective damage unless both have hidden power fire, which they could very well, but he does have the Blacephalon, and it's not the bulkiest thing in the world, so he could predict me to be like a Swords Dancing set, and to where, you know, like after Stealth Rocks at +2, like 2 rounds of Stealth Rocks, Blacephalon is in +2 bullet punch range, so on and so forth. But I figured I'd bring it as like a defensive pivot here. I can switch in on Sylveon, I can switch in on Kyurem, I can switch in on Xurkitree even, maybe my Sleep Fodder or something like that. And I didn't want to bring like a setup variant and be reverse sweeped by Ditto anyway. And that's the reason for a lot of things here. I'm not bringing a lot of setup in this match because of Ditto. But yeah, that's going to be it for Scizor. Basically, it switches into Sylveon and Kyurem pretty comfortably with max HP, max Spadef, unless they're packing HP Fire like I mentioned. And can threaten them with Bullet Punch, U-turn out, and catch momentum, so on and so forth. But yeah, that's going to be it. We can move on to Primarina. Primarina is another max HP, max Spadef Pokemon here. This thing's got really good Spadef investment, and this thing is going to be one of my ways to check Blacephalon. It's a huge threat to my team, especially if it's Choice Scarf and it comes in and clicks Shadow Ball or Flamethrower. It's a huge threat. Don't want, you know, Beast Boost, things like that. He also has Xurkitree, Breloom, Kyurem, which can open up holes for Blacephalon, Mega Lopunny, and Mew also. So definitely got to look like and be super prepared for that. We're running Scald. Obviously catches burns, does super effective damage to Blacephalon and Rhydon. Moonblast does super effective damage to Mega Lopunny. Also, I can take Stealth Rocks and a return. So just because of max HP. So Moonblast is nice to be able to OHKO that instead of relying on Scald to 2-hit KO, potentially, maybe even 3-hit KO. Moonblast might not even OHKO, so there's that. Scald also hits Registeel and can potentially burn something like Breloom or Kyurem. Dazzling Gleam is only there for the Breloom, I think. Wait, what is it there for? Dazzling Gleam. Scald, Moonblast. Oh, ha! Moonblast and Dazzling Gleam are both Fairy type moves. I was had a brain fart there for a moment. This is because he has Kyurem, which could be like a sub protect variant with pressure, and he could PP stall my Moonblast. And if that was to happen, I wouldn't be able to hit Kyurem or Breloom super effectively. So I brought 2 Fairy type moves here and Protect to scout for things like Spore, and like if I hard switch into Necrozma on a Toxic or something like that, it can be wore down easily for Mega Lop to potentially win late game and stuff like that. So I didn't want that to be a problem, and we got Protect there to scout for it. Like if he wants to go for the Toxic, predicting my Necrozma come in with his Registeel or something like that, and I just click Protect there, scout for it, then click Scald, knowing he's going for the Toxic, or don't really mind this thing being Toxic. It also comes in on Milotic pretty comfortably, and Moonblast and Dazzling Gleam. Like, I'm going to need a lot of PP to try to eventually break that thing down as well, because this thing's not going to do it with Scald and just Moonblast or just Dazzling Gleam. Thanks to Thunderfuck, though, we don't have to worry about Milotic too much, but still an issue nonetheless. Nonetheless, excuse me. And next up we've got Incineroar with Fake Out, U-turn, Knockoff, and Fire Punch. With Fire Punch able to hit Breloom, Mega Lop, Breloom for super effective damage, Mega Lop more than Knockoff does. It also hits Registeel pretty hard, so we've got ways to get around Registeel, potentially burn it. Plasma can't. Nah, Thunderfuck can break through it, but yeah, Incineroar is a nice backup check to breaking through Registeel as well. And Fake Out's really nice for things like breaking sashes on Breloom and hitting Xurkitree up, like especially if you put something to sleep and starts to set up or something, it could be really scary. And I don't want that to get out of hand and always having Fake Out to switch in and always get a little bit of chip damage. Maybe can hit him hard enough to where he would be in range of a Fake Out. He puts me to sleep, sets up, knocks me out, and then gets revenge killed by a Fake Out from Incineroar would be nice. But yeah, this thing's nice. It takes hits from Mew pretty well. Kyurem Black. It's not to get KO'd by Earth Power unless it's like Life Orb or Specs, and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's going to be it for Incineroar though. I'm going to go ahead and hop into our last Pokemon, Mega Diancie. Last but not least, we have Mega Diancie with Moonblast, Power Gem, Rock Polish, and Protect. I'm rocking Dual Stab with no coverage for Registeel because I can hit everything outside of Registeel with my Dual Stab. And Registeel can be taken care of with the rest of my team. I can U-turn, like if he switches in Registeel versus Scizor, I can U-turn into my Incineroar, threaten it out. It doesn't really necessarily want to take a knockoff from Primarina and then take hits from Thunderfuck and Primarina, Incineroar, and continuously switch in on Mega Diancie's Moonblast as well. So yeah, Moonblast and Power Gem will do the job once I beat down Registeel. Rock Polish is there so that I can potentially outpace something like a Choice Scarf Blacephalon or a Z Hypnosis speed boosted Xurkitree after one speed boost anyway. And I could, well, I guess that would be a little bit different because it would be hard to, unless it has no special attack boost already. Say it puts something to sleep, gets the Z Hypnosis boost, and I'll hard switch into my Mega Diancie as it goes for. Mega Diancie can actually bounce Hypnosis back too, so that's something to think about. But in the case that he had a Xurkitree that was set up with speed but had no special attack boosted yet, and I brought in my Mega Diancie and could take one hit, I could Rock Polish up and make sure that I could outpace that, potential Choice Scarf Blacephalon, and Mega Lopunny all. Protect also allows me to dodge a high jump kick from Mega Lopunny too, which could come into play on either side of the offense there. Whether it be him dying and then, missing and fainting because of the recoil damage, or for him missing and being in range of something like Bullet Punch and Fake Out from Incineroar and Scizor. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Blacephalon can't really take Moonblast, but yeah, I did decide to bring Power Gem as well as Moonblast. I think just having these two moves will do the job. It should do the job anyway. But yeah, that's gonna be it. So we can go ahead and hop into the replay, and we'll be right back. Here we are with the replay, and my opponent does bring the Mew and the Mega Lopunny as expected. My Lodic was pretty much expected as well, and the Rhydon as his only roadblock to Thunderfuck there, the Zeraora. He's got Blacephalon, which is a huge threat, and Kyurem. So very, very threatening squad. A lot of what I've expected, and I'm pretty glad that I prepped the way I did. I feel like everything fell into place right here so perfectly. Running, dual fairy type moves on Primarina looks nice thanks to Kyurem and my Lodic being here. I'm having Scald on that, and the AV Incineroar looks really nice for the Blacephalon. Knockoff and Scald from Incineroar and Primarina respectively looks good versus the Rhydon, can weaken that very much. Knockoff also looks good versus Mew. Necrozma looks great, doesn't look too pressured by anything else outside of Mega Lop. He doesn't have the Registeel, he doesn't have the Breloom, he didn't bring the Xurkitree, and no Ditto, so really, really solid matchup. I feel like the prep is on point. I feel like Corey's going to have to play super, super, super exceptional here to win this matchup. I feel like it's so in our favor at this point that, not necessarily the matchup, but the prep here, and these 6 versus these 6. So let's go ahead and hop into the battle. I'm going to lead off with Primarina in case he wants to lead off with Rhydon, which was his only Stealth Rocker, and if he wanted to lead off with Kyurem, Blacephalon, Milotic, or Mega Lop, I was in a pretty decent position. The only way I was in a bad position is if he led off with Mew and he was some sort of setup variant. But yeah, he does lead off with the Blacephalon here, and I'm going to click Scald, and he actually clicks Shadow Ball here, turn 1, either predicting me to switch, or maybe predicting either Milotic or the Kyurem to switch in. He maybe predicted me to click Moonblast or something like that, and he wanted to see how much Shadow Ball would do, gauge the damage. But yeah, we're going to pick up the knockout here on turn 1 and get rid of the Blacephalon, which was a huge threat to my 12 Pokemon in general, but not to the team I actually brought outside of Scizor and Necrozma, unless he was indeed Choice Scarf. But he does bring in his Milotic here. And we're going to go right out and turn Necrozma here. We don't care too much what he does unless he goes for Toxic, which he does go for immediately versus our Primarina. And he reveals the Flame Orb as he goes out into his Mew. We do get our Stealth Rocks up, and we're still in a decent position to check Mega Lopunny with Necrozma. So we're going to Hard Switch out into our Incineroar as he reveals Rock Polish on his Mew. And we get this nice fake out damage, which may or may not put him in knockoff range, depending on his investment. And he actually is in knockoff range, and revealed to be Weakness Policy with the Rock Polish. So here he brings in Mega Lopunny, can easily go for High Jump Kick, but reveals Power Up Punch, which is a really nice tech on his part. And now Return does just over half. Still not going to be able to knock us out, but with Photon Geyser, we are able to knock out the Mega Lopunny. And we're in a really solid position here in the first 8 turns, being able to comfortably check all of his Pokemon and live their attacks while also knocking them out. And we're at a 6-3 advantage here, and it looks like we're in a good position, but we're about to see what's going to happen here. As he goes into Kyurem, he takes Stealth Rocks, and we're going to Hard Switch out into our Scizor. We can take an Ice Beam all day and force this thing out with Bullet Punch. We could U-turn out, or we could just click Bullet Punch. He's going to go out into his Milotic as we do U-turn out into Thunderfuck here, and we can just click Plasma Fist. No reason to click anything else. See how much damage it's going to do as he goes straight into his Kyurem. It does 26%, so here we're going to go ahead and as he reveals Leftovers, we know he's not Scarf, and we can click Close Combat, knock that thing out. And now Rhydon comes in, and we've got a really good chance to knock it out if it's Eviolite with a Grass Knot. And we're able to pick up the knockout there, and there's no way that this thing lives a Life Orb Plasma Fist, and we're able to pick up a nice, very nice 6-0 victory in a very fast-paced game here in the first 14 turns versus a very solid opponent with a really good team. I feel like our prep couldn't have been better this game. It really couldn't have. Unless we went into more like specific EVs and stuff like that, it couldn't have been better. But I felt like going max on everything was the best way to check certain threats, like Mega Lot with max HP defense, Necrozma, Blacephalon with max HP, max Spadef, Primarina, and then having the AV Incineroar to back it up. Super nice, and able to come out with a really solid victory here. And it helps our differential as well. Boosted us to 3-1 with a +11 differential here in week number 4. So yeah, a quarter of the way through, and in a pretty solid position here. Good game, Corey, and good luck the rest of the season, my man. And that's going to be it for this week, and we look forward to week number 5. Almost at season number 5, but week number 5, where we will be facing off against, I think, Fluminense Flygons, coached by BEML. So look out for that. Let me know what you thought about the prep and the battle. Nice 14 turns here. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. All the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.